Brought to you by DK Audio.
The LGBTQ+ History Book by DK, read by Willow Heath. Please note that this audiobook contains language and historical terms that some listeners may find offensive. Whilst every effort has been made to ensure the correct pronunciation for all names, locations, terms, and specialist vocabulary, there may be some variance from the native or original pronunciation. Introduction. Queerness has an especially vexed relationship to evidence. Historically, evidence of queerness has been used to penalize and discipline queer desires, connections, and acts. Jose Esteban Munoz, Cuban-American academic, 1967 to 2013. The longing for community across time is a critical feature of queer historical experience. Heather Love, American queer theorist. The words we now use for the LGBTQ+ community would be as alien to the people of the ancient world as the concept of an LGBTQ+ community itself. Historians looking for evidence of same-sex desires, gender variance, or intersex experiences have found it in many places, from art, poetry, and drama to diaries, letters, and court records, but portrayed completely differently from modern LGBTQ+ life. As American historian David Halperin has observed, for most historical societies, the idea of a conceptual divide between the heterosexual and homosexual did not exist, making it problematic to describe people from the past in these terms. Historians who study LGBTQ+ experience routinely encounter the same questions. How did past figures understand gender and sexuality? Can and should we give them the modern label of LGBTQ+ based on our interpretations of their actions? Historians are also required to present these findings under a certain burden of proof. How can we be sure that Alexander the Great and Hephaestion were not simply intimate friends? Does it matter whether the 19th century American women living together in Boston marriages had what we would call sex? The demand for proof of sex acts has excluded some people from LGBTQ+ history, particularly in debates around the erotic nature of women's romantic friendship and in identifying the history of asexuality. Yet contemporary scholarship has moved towards a broader idea of what counts, such as American historian Judith Bennett's term lesbian-like to describe women whose primary relationships were to each other. Archival challenges. Studying LGBTQ+ history comes with a particular challenge, familiar to anyone researching marginalized people. Traditional archives, museum collections, court records, library archives, can present a skewed picture of the past, as LGBTQ+ histories are typically only mentioned in relation to prosecution, scandal, or supposed abnormality. This is no accident, as over time such institutional archives have been curated by societies hostile to the existence of LGBTQ+ people. Prior to the 19th century, much of the extant evidence was created not by LGBTQ+ people themselves, but by others who condemn and obscure them. The historian must learn to read against the grain, finding the silences in the archive into which queer possibility can be read. Many LGBTQ+ historians prefer to call their work queer history because queer suggests a challenge to the status quo, a breaking with tradition, and a resistance to rigid definitions and fixed identities. What is LGBTQ+ history? A number of countries around the world now celebrate LGBTQ+ History Month, including the UK and Hungary in February, Germany and Cuba in May, and the US, Canada, and Australia in October. These celebrations usually center.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?